The above statement appears in Norhall's book, Those Women, a study in part of women initiated into the ecstatic rites of Dionysus. Dionysus was himself a cross-gendered god, sometimes embodied by a stick figure decorated with a beard and a dress. Dionysus was raised as a girl, and was usually depicted as effeminate. At the same time, his female followers, the Maenads, took on male characteristics, sometimes described as wildly erect, like phalluses. They also would go into a shamanic trance and acquire extra-human powers, such as the ability to run for miles without tiring, or to wind poisonous snakes through their hair. As a transsexual new woman and goddess worshipper, I find I identify more with the Maenads than with Dionysus's cross-dressing males. Part of the power of the cross-sexed blood rite of surgery is to take us fully over the line, so that as we experience our own wildness and break down walls of official gender roles, we do so as females. In a poem, once I wrote, "I have claimed everything, all paths where a woman may walk," and this includes forbidden paths, the paths of power beyond gender. For when I came out, it seemed clear to me that I was to know myself fully as a woman, not to take on society's limited views of a woman. That knowing includes the exploration of unknown territories. We can go anywhere, become anything that we recognize as true for us. But we have to start from the right place. We have to stand firmly on the ground of our true gender, and then we can fly. And yet in that same poem I wrote, "Only my past I leave behind." Though I did not conceal my history from my friends and colleagues, I almost never referred to it. I did not want to remind them, or myself, of the years I lived as a male. Most of us know that feeling. For me, I sensed, rightly or wrongly, that people's reactions to me as simply a woman depended on this other side of my life remaining distant and forgotten. Transsexuals will often say that after surgery, their previous existence fades like a dream. And yet for some people, this dream may consist of the first 40, 50, even 60 years of their lives. In the last few years, I have sought to open up my origins, to look at my childhood, and in fact, to look at my cultural and spiritual history as a transsexual woman. As I do this, it strikes me more and more that cross-gender and sexuality is not a matter of sickness or disturbance or abuse, as people so often claim, but of passion. The sickness comes from living in the wrong gender. When we cast that off, we begin to live as healthy people. But the casting off comes, as Norhall writes, through a surrender to the body's desire. And it seems to me we need to recognize that surrender as something both joyous and sacred. As long as we tell others and ourselves, "I did this because I was sick," we cannot become healthy. Hall's statement acts for me as a reminder, one that I need to hear or read over and over, for I forget it constantly. I strive to forget it, under the pressure of a puritanical society which demands that we detach ourselves from our bodies. Society will accept us changing our social genders and even our bodies so long as we present ourselves as pathetic and disturbed people desperate for help. If we acknowledge or claim proudly that we made these changes as a life-giving act of passion, we risk losing the moral authority given to victims. But victims have no power. Victims can never celebrate their lives.